So back to the story. Okay, the king still needs a queen. Like, he doesn't need a queen, but he wants a queen. Like, he has concubines and everything like that, but it just looks right for a king to be next to a queen. That's how it always is, right? So he sends out like messengers and stuff like that to bring all the virgins of the land to kind of go through this like beauty queen contest, like Miss Universe kind of thing, to find out who's going to be his next queen. And who was among those beautiful women? That's right, me. Just kidding, it was Esther. I didn't want no dead old king. No way, okay? And Esther was one of the girls, the young girls that were found to, they weren't like young, but like there was one of the young women probably around my age, 18 to 20, that were brought before the king. And they weren't brought before the king yet, that's later on in the story. But while we're looking throughout this, I'm going to be telling you the meanings of names and everything like that to kind of clarify how it's kind of cool how this all plays out and how your name has a lot to do, the meaning of your name has a lot to do with the life that you're going to lead. In the Bible, over and over again, it shows you how names are very important. In Proverbs 22, chapter 22, verse 1, it says, "A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and a loving favor rather than silver and gold." So your name means a lot. And what goes along with your name, like if people know you for doing good things, then that's what your name stands for. If people know you for doing bad things, and that's what your mother stands for. When you hear Adolf Hitler, you don't think roses. When you hear what's her name? Mother Teresa, you think, yes, she was like the best person ever. And that has all to do with their names. Like in the Bible, Abraham means exalted father, and now he was supposed to, and his destiny was supposed to be father of many nations, which he is. Well, fathers of many nations. Yeah. Well, the meaning of Esther's name was star, but her original name was Hadassah. And that's the meaning of a tree called myrtle. And I know it doesn't sound very majestic, but myrtle was actually it's an essential oil that's used for healing and relaxation and beautifying, which is really ironic because Esther soaks in essential oils and stuff like that for 6 months, and then the next month she soaks in sweet odors, and her name means both essential oils and beautifying oils, so it's really cool how that works out. But anyways, we're gonna call her Esther, because Hadassah, nobody probably is gonna know what I'm talking about if I say Hadassah. They're gonna be like, who, what? So I'm gonna say Esther. So like I was saying before, there's a 12-month process for all the girls that were gathered up out of all of the kingdom. And it's 6 months of oils and myrrh, and 6 months of sweet odors. I don't know about you, but that sounds like the best spa treatment ever. Forget mud baths and mud max, okay? I want to do that 12-month treatment. That's a year of pampering and just, yes, I want that. So after this pampering, it was time for the girls to go before the king. All the girls. He has to see all these girls, and they have to go before the king one by one. Before they go, they're allowed to take jewelry and dress up and everything, makeup and everything like that to impress the king. And all the other girls except for Esther took all they could, okay? They took every single thing that they could. Earlier on, Esther had already gained favor in the sights of the guy who was running the whole thing. He was kind of just the person that oversaw everything. He was kind of like the Tyra Banks. You know how America's Next Top Model, she sees over all the girls and everything like that? He was kind of like the Tyra Banks. But he wasn't a woman. He was just trying to make sure that everything was okay. He's one of the Enochs. She found favor in the sight of him, and he gave her 7 maidens to see after her, kind of make sure that she was the best and everything like that, best looking, teach her royalty things and everything like that. That's what they were supposed to do, and that's what he gave her. She gained favor. So after all these girls are packing up on jewelry and everything like that, on makeup, cake, putting all the makeup on, Esther instead asked the people that were in charge, just give me what I need to be able to impress the king. So they just gave her minimal stuff and everything like that, and she went before the king. And the king was like, hold up. Who's that? And Esther went before him, and he fell in love with her and everything like that. Love story, yeah, but this is not the end of the story. The love story does not end the story. It never ends the story. It never should end the story. You gotta talk about all the real that happens afterwards. So Esther is queen, and nobody knows she's a Jew yet. The whole reason why nobody knows she's a Jew is because her uncle Mordecai, which is her uncle, because she was an orphan because her father and mother had died. But Mordecai took care of her. He said not to tell anybody that she was a Jew because it wasn't like life endangering at this point in the story, but it was kind of like taboo. Jews didn't make it that far at the kingdom and everything like that. So he said, don't tell anybody like what you believe and everything like that. That's why her name change came from Hadassah to Esther. So while Esther is queen, Mordecai works in the king's gates, and he overheard some guys plotting to kill the king. So Mordecai tells Esther, and Esther tells the king. The king does some investigation, finds out this is true, and the two guys, they get rid of, okay? Oh yeah, and by the way, the meaning of Mordecai's name was supposed to be like a mighty warrior and everything like that. He was named after one of the pagan gods of the Persian Empire, and he's supposed to be like this mighty warrior. That's his name. And that it'll show you how he's a mighty warrior, but not in the sense that we might think, but it'll show you how he is later on in the story.